Hi, today I will present a film about business. I'm talking about business in India also, from the point of view that the world is changing, India is changing, everything is changing over time. And when you run a business, you need to understand these changes and you have to implement them in your business idea and the way you do business in order to survive. I will talk of the risks of losing business because you're not following the development. And I will present this problem today, and the answers how we will solve the problems will be part of what comes later in other following films.
The world is changing. Once there was a company called Nokia. Well, they still are there. That's because they do not only produce mobile phones. They are involved in several other products as well. Had they not been active with other products, there would not be a Nokia today. Why? Because they made a big mistake, a mistake many companies has done before, and after, them. Learn from the Nokia example. First there was landline. It was, at its time, a huge success. Yes, you still can find landline phones. But manufacturing landline phones is today not a big business. Because today we mostly use different other systems for calls. Then there were mobile phones. They made it easy, as you could bring the phone with you. Nokia did well and become the world's #1 in mobile phones. Many things they did 100% right. But they missed one important thing. They did one big mistake. Smartphones. Nokia missed the development of smartphones. First they believed it was no threat to them, they believed that people would always use the type of mobile phones they had made. They were sitting there and avoided to fast develop a smartphone. Soon Nokia could not generate enough with money on their mobile phones. So, they sold their smartphone division. And was out of the market. Nokia is back. Today Nokia is back, with smartphones. How could they come back? Because they also had other products, and they realized that they had a good name in the mobile phone market. So, they used a lot of money, and developed smartphones. All companies, in the world, must follow the development. Both India and the world change over time. So, all companies must be prepared to develop, change and adapt to these changes. Or else they most likely soon will be out of business.
I arrived the first time in India, 1985. When I came to India first time and saw India, it was a complete different country from what it is today.
It was less developed, technically.
But it was also, in one way, more nicer, more social. People wasn't running after money the way the Europeans does. Now, the modern India is much more advanced, but also people are starting to be less social and more about running after money. So it's a very different country now. I have followed it there. I have been there every calendar year from 1985 and until now, so I know how it has changed. Sometimes when I was out for India for half a year and I came back, and during 6 months had changed a lot. And that's how it works. India has changed a lot. But the world is also changing a lot. And we have to understand this when we are planning to do business with India or inside India or from India to other countries.
India is changing. People get influenced by TV, internet including social media, and much more. And what they see the neighbor is doing. So, people change behavior. Spend money on other and new things. Salaries are higher. This means they can spend more money, but also that companies have to pay more for their employees. New products and new ways of doing things compete and take over the market from old ways of doing the business. So, those that has companies that do not follow the development will get less business, and in the end no business.
I have many times met people who want to start some new business in India or want to add a new business to the business they're already having. And some are startups who want to do something, and some of them have come to me and asked, and I have seen the challenges they have. I want to mention one of the challenges. One boy, a bit over 20, maybe 25 years old, he came to me and said he wanted to start a company. He had some ideas and we was talking. And I saw some possibilities. But he had a big problem. What was his problem? At home he had his father and his grandfather. That was the problem. Why was it a problem? Because the father understood how business was done 20 years ago, and the grandfather understood how business was done 40 or 50 years ago. And they tell him, you should do so, you should do this, you should that. And he listened to them, and he came to me and he was saying, oh, we have to do so and so. But it was nonsense. That's not how it works. Not now. And this is according 2022. So please understand. India is changing, the world is changing. Your father may have good knowledge for many things. Your grandfather may have good knowledge, and other people around you have good understanding. But if you are young, or if you are even not so young, but you want to start a new company, you have to start it as it works now, not how it was working before. Because too many businesses are running into problem in India because they're not following the development. And to start a new company doing something that is already old-fashioned, that isn't up to the date, is nonsense. So when you want to do a new business, if you want to develop a business, then you have to do it that is suitable as it is today. And so many things are happening suddenly, and so you need to change. The pandemic changed the terms and conditions for doing business. The Ukraine war is changing the terms and conditions for business, and there will come much more in the future. We have big challenges in climate change and other things. So remember this. You have to do business for today, not that works 20 years ago, 50 years ago.
The world is changing, and then so does how to best do business. Technique and products develop, creating new behavior among us. Crises force quick changes. Pandemic, Ukraine war, and climate change are examples. Suddenly we must handle new things that we did not know about earlier, and did not plan our business for. Competition between countries changes. International buyers placed orders from India for many years to then suddenly place them in Bangladesh, Vietnam or Brazil.
One thing that's happening now in India is that the prices are going up. Things are getting more and more expensive. So why are this happening? Why is happening like that? It's because of the development here. It started with the call centers and people started to be better paid, and then things after things has happened and people have been more impressed by how life is in Western countries, and people are doing and wanting more money. And so when price goes up, salaries goes up, when everything goes up, the terms and conditions for business changes. If people are earning more in India, there will be more products you can sell to them because they have more money. But if you are an exporter and the salaries goes up, maybe you can't export in the same way as before. You have to close it all together unless you make changes and follow the change of the world and the change of India. If you follow the changes, then maybe you can do business in another way. So you adapt to the fact that India is more costly today compared to, for instance, Bangladesh or Vietnam or perhaps even Brazil and so on. So remember this. Time is changing for the world, for India, and price level is one factor that goes up in India, and that you have to take into account when you are analyzing your own business and developing it and trying to survive.
We will discuss what you need to do, how business is done in India, and how to do it, how to do business with Europe, and much more in following films. Subscribe to follow. We make several films that's shorter, rather than very long films, so come back for the next film. We also have a full business course, in English only, with the codename C1. It's 100% free. This course is produced in English, Hindi, and Tamil. New episodes to be added from time to time. If you subscribe to this channel, you will see about updates and new films.